Hey, everybody, it's Lauren DeLisa Coleman back with another interview during the series of the Austin Asian American Film Festival. And I am really happy to have with me right now Brandon Soon, who is the co director behind Conversations at the Register. And Brandon, thank you so much for joining us. Excited to talk with you about this film. And please do me the honor of giving the audience a brief synopsis of your film.
Yeah. Well, first off, thank you so much, Lauren, for having me. My name's Brandon. My pronouns are he, him, his. I am the co-director of Conversations at the Register. Lan Nguyen is my co-director for this film. And basically a short synopsis of our project is a love letter to our community, hometown community of Cambodia Town in Long Beach, California. This film captures the story of KH Market, which is the largest Cambodian-owned grocery shop in Long Beach. And over the past 2-3 years, they've been facing threats of gentrification, but our local community has organized, mobilized to keep it there. But unfortunately, as of last year, they have closed and they are just starting a new chapter after this.
So fascinating. I love to find out about life that's just happening that you don't even know because not enough, spotlight has been put on it. For example, I lived in LA for a year and a half, several years ago. I've been to Long Beach, didn't know anything about this. And to be honest, I didn't even know there was a Cambodia Town and a specific, supermarket to it, let alone that it was about to, kind of perish, which is a shame. But I'm so glad that you were able to capture all of this. Tell me a little bit about your filmmaking experience and then also why you decided to apply it to this particular event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I began my filmmaking career or my background during my time as a student at UCLA. I studied Asian American Studies, and within my major, there was a course called Ethnocommunications. That was kind of a year-long documentary filmmaking course where we kind of focused on creating media about our community, amplifying the voices of specifically my hometown of Long Beach. And our first student short film that Lan and I also created was called Cambodia Town, Not for Sale. And that one kind of focused more about the first few months that we heard about how KH Market and other stores in the plaza were going to get demolished or shut down due to the property owners wanting to, kind of gentrify it, make it into a lot of corporate shops that would kind of bring in more money. And when we first heard about the news, we really wanted to make a film just to amplify the voices of the business owners and just show how our community has really been resilient and is pushing back because this plaza, this space is kind of our sense of identity, our sense of home. And for that to be kind of taken away from us, it's just sad because Lan and I and a lot of folks in our hometown, ever since we were children, we grew up going to KH Market with our parents. There are other shops in the plaza, my mom would get her hair cut at the hair salon. We would get our passport photos taken at one of the photo shops there. So it's really a space where community could just share our experiences, just hang out, meet up with loved ones. A lot of cultural exchange too. So that our first short film kind of just highlighted that. And then, with COVID over the next 2 years, the kind of threat of gentrification and demolition just kind of kept getting pushed back. And so KH Market still was able to be there, serve the community during COVID. And that really helped our community a lot, providing access to affordable groceries and resources to help sustain our community at that time. But unfortunately, as of last year, KH Market closed. That was the end of an era. And United Cambodian Community, one of the big Cambodian American nonprofits in Long Beach reached out to us to kind of create like a tribute to KH Market. So that was kind of like how Conversations at the Register came about.
So cool. But I mean, wow, what do you see happening in the community now? You know, when you have something that is kind of like an anchoring force, or even if you go like, you know, back in the day, and at least European times, there was like that town square. When you take that away, there's obviously a lot of not just social, but psychosocial implications, right? So what are some of your thoughts about that?
Yeah. So as of today, if you drive by KH Market and East Anaheim Plaza, which is where it's situated at, unfortunately, the building itself has been demolished, so it's no longer there. Most of the shops have closed. I think there's still a few that are open. So every time you drive by, it's just kind of like more of, you know, a memory of what it once was. But what came about of like our community organizing was that us and a lot of nonprofits in Long Beach formed the Cambodia Town Thrives Collaborative. And it was formed because we were like, we don't want this to happen again in our communities. We want to, you know, our community have collective ownership.
Yeah.
So that our mom and pop businesses don't close. We want more adequate resources like affordable housing, making sure that elders in our communities have access to, you know, healthcare, making sure that all of our folks are taken care of, and that, you know, Cambodia Town in Long Beach is home to the largest population of Cambodians in America. So we wanted to stay that way. We wanted to like continue to be a cultural hub and, you know, just not have our home, our identity, or like our culture erased from, you know, this space here in California.
Right. You have to own it. What can you say? Tell me though a little bit about, I don't know, just to kind of, you know, change the mood a little bit.
Yeah.
What was maybe the most joyful part of shooting this?
Yeah. There are a lot of fun moments. The owners, Pachivi, Bon, and like her other brother, they were all so nice when we were filming. Like after we wrapped up a day, they would always give us like some free hot food, or like, you know, some like small groceries. Like I felt bad, like I wanted to like pay them because they were closing, but they were like, oh no, thank you for doing this, it's on the house. And then just hearing all of the stories of customers who have shopped there for like years, just hearing about how, you know, like their grandma brought them to the store, and then now they're bringing their daughter to the store. Just hearing a lot of these generational stories and just the impact that KH Market had on the community just really warmed my heart. And just seeing all the community support, especially on the last day, like there are a lot of folks like buying up as much stock as they could just to help them out, clear their inventory and stuff. Yeah, I just love seeing like.
And you got to capture like so much of this. What's the main element, Brandon, that you think you pulled upon from film school to be able to create this film successfully?
Yeah, I'd say during my training at UCLA, I didn't have like a very formal film school training like compared to if I were to like go to straight film school. But what I took from my ethno-communications courses was that just to really center the voices of my community, tell it in the most authentic, truthful, and respectful way that I can. And just making sure that, you know, I don't overstep my boundary. I always feel like it's a privilege, and folks like allow me to tell their stories. Like I'm not entitled to anyone's story. So that's the main, you know, kind of focus I always go into, like when I approach filmmaking.
Nice. So now how did you feel when this film was accepted into the festival?
Yeah, I felt it was like a deep honor because this is my first time getting into Austin Asian American Film Festival. just being able to show the stories of my community in like a different state like Texas. I know that Texas has a growing Asian American community too, and they're also facing like a lot of threats of gentrification. So just being able to share this story and have folks resonate with it is very meaningful to me.
That's so cool. So what are you going to work on next then? Do you think you're still going to maybe stay with this theme of like community, or do you think you will move to narrative? I mean, what's like your ideal?
Yeah, so my current plans now, I actually work full time as a digital organizer at a really good nonprofit here in Long Beach called My Girls in Action, but I still also do film on the side. So the main thing I'm working on right now is I'm producing a documentary feature on this amazing Cambodian American high school basketball player. So I still always want to share the stories of, my people, my Cambodian people, but I've always wanted to do like a sports doc. So blending those two together is kind of like my dream. And, it's over the course of a couple of years. I'm still work in progress, but yeah, I can't wait for everyone to see it. It's such like every day is such a blessing to work on that project.
That's so great.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it's going to be, kind of fun to do
Mm-hmm.
too, because, this one kind of had a little bit of a sad ending, but if you can look at it positively, it's like you said, that the community now is at least more unified and stronger because of it.
Yeah.
So I guess that's, this is a good time to ask what you hope that audiences take away from the film, because it could be seen as, just a real ultimate bummer, in the midst of so much becoming so large, or I should say so concentrated, whether we're talking about, just a handful of private equity companies that own, everything, or have majority stock, or large or are large, shareholders in major companies. And so, one could kind of become rather disillusioned, but that doesn't help. Right. Mm-hmm. So, what do you think that this story, or how does it fit into just this larger change in culture, where we are very much interested in having the biggest, the most convenient, the most accessible? I'm on Amazon probably every other day. I'm not going to lie. Right. Uh-huh. But that the small shop owner is important, too. How do you balance? So, I don't know how the story actually fits, into that, as we all grapple with this, right?
Yeah, I think like the biggest takeaway is that, these small mom and pop shops in our community, they hold it down. Like when we're going through tough times, like they're always there for us, and we got to support them too. So from this film, it shows that, when community comes together, we have a lot of power. There's a lot of love, specifically for our like Cambodian and Southeast Asian community. Our history is resilient. We're resilient. And, because of how we came to America, like we're not going to back down. Like we're going to continue fighting, making sure that we support our loved ones, and just making sure that, we're here to stay.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
So Brandon, how can we keep up with what you're going to be doing for the sports doc and everything? Are you active across social, or, because I don't think you're as deep into film right now as maybe others, where you have like a whole, site and or landing page for your work, but at least are you doing your thing on social, or too busy?
Yeah, I have my film Instagram. It's at Brandon Soon Film, no underscores or anything. That's where I post a lot of my, like dates where you can check out my films at other festivals, what I'm currently working on, and just, kind of some personal stuff about me. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Great. So, well, is there anything else you want to add, Brandon, before we wrap up?
No, I think that's all. Yeah. Thank you, Lauren, for having me today.
Absolutely. My pleasure. We have to make sure that, there's more light on Long Beach than just like Snoop Dogg, right? I mean, there's more to the story. So I'm glad that you were able to, kind of bring this to light and be included in the festival, for sure. Thanks for taking the time to talk with us. You guys, I hope that you have enjoyed watching this interview. We have many more coming up from the Austin Asian American Film Festival. I am Lauren DeLisa Coleman for the Inside series here at Filmio.